on, and welcome to another episode of Simply Nerdy. I'm your host, Steven. I'm here with Alex. We're talking Spider-Man 2 spoilers. Alex, what was your highlight for Spider-Man 2? And you can't say Tony Todd.
Tony Todd? Oh,
I'm just kidding.
Gosh.
I'm just kidding. You can. Dang, Tony Todd.
I don't know. I'm a big fan of the villains in this. The villains are, I think, the pinnacle of the game. I think, and I saw someone else say this on the internet. They said this is probably the best interpretation of Kraven and Venom that we're gonna ever get in at least a long while, or at least this is the best that we've got. Well, I love Kraven in this. Kraven is a beast. I've never seen. Oh yeah, I've never seen someone. What is it? I've always seen Kraven as kind of like this like C-list character. I'm just like, oh, he's just this like hunter. That's it. Like he doesn't seem that intimidating. But with him in the actual game, like snapping necks with like one hand, like that's already impressive enough.
Yeah, his introduction was incredible. And then you're just terrified of him the rest of the game.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, he was so good. And he causes a lot of different problems. He freaking killed off a bunch of the old villains from the first game.
The fact he killed off half the Sinister Six within like the first, I don't know, like 20 minutes of the game, and just all off screen as well.
Yeah, all off screen.
Crazy.
Some of them off screen, some were on screen, like the Scorpion.
Oh yeah,
we saw a couple of those.
That threw me through the ringer. I was just shocked that he actually went and killed him off. And I'm going to side with a lot of other people on this. I don't know why I kind of felt a little sad after we heard about Shocker's death as well. I was kind of like, what? I don't know.
But dude, yeah, it was crazy. Oh man, the stakes were so high. Highlight for me was, it was a complete surprise for me. But when Peter Parker got the Anti-Venom Suit, oh my gosh, that's amazing. I was like, what? Oh man. And then seeing Martin Lee like completely turn around after Miles. Miles, you're my boy. Or Miles doesn't kill Lee in this battle in the arena with the hunter there. With Kraven, he just, I guess he doesn't forgive him. Come on, Miles, you can do that too. Come on. But he doesn't kill him and he sends him off. And that pays out to be a very good decision because, yeah, he came out and helped Peter out of the very last of the symbiote that was in his system. And, dude, the Anti-Venom Suit was sick. Mm-hmm. And, dang, did they make that feel powerful? That was one thing that stuck out to me, and I wanted to say it in a non-spoiler discussion, but I just couldn't. Peter Parker with the symbiote. Holy cow, they make you feel so strong. You fight against all these enemies without the symbiote, and yeah, it's challenging, difficult. You get the symbiote, and Peter Parker gets just that enraged Peter Parker.
So much easier when you get that enraged ability.
Yes. Oh my gosh, it was a piece of cake. They were just falling at my feet. The controller was just shaking like crazy, and I was just like, rawr. I was like, oh my gosh, I feel so powerful right now.
No, I love the design of the suits in this, and after actually beating it, it's so cool that you can go back and play those different suits as well. I didn't know that they also made two separate variations of the black suit, where it's specifically called the black suit and the symbiote suit, where he gets all veiny and stuff like that, and it has a bigger spider.
Ooh.
And then there's also the Anti-Venom Suit as well. So
I haven't explored that yet. That sounds awesome.
I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's so cool. What did you think of Venom as a villain?
Really good. I freaking loved him as this. What was it? One of my friends said they wanted to try and take a stab at who it was going to be. He said, "Hey, just watch it." And I was like, "It's not. It's got to be Symbiotes," because I've heard like a lot of other people on the internet also say like it can't be Eddie Brock. That'd be too stupid just to bring him in, just to obviously turn him into Venom. And then other people were like, well, it also can't be Harry because that would also be too obvious. It was supposed to be some throwaway line in the trailer where he said the same line that Harry said, where he said, let's heal the world. together. And so I was kind of holding hope out that it wasn't Harry, but in the end, I guess it just kind of works, I guess, with it being Harry. I don't know.
But I was wondering if you were going to be disappointed by that.
A little bit, but like, hey, it's such a good interpretation of Venom that I'm just not disappointed. But I mean, like, I really expect them to do anything else. Like, I don't know who else that they would choose to play as Venom.
Yeah, it made
there
sense
wasn't
to me.
going to be like Eddie Brock or Harry.
Mhm.
So it's just, you got one choice or the other. Otherwise, they're going to have to pick some rando to be Venom, and that would be stupid.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, it totally made sense to me, and it made sense that they set it up a long time ago. It made sense to me. I was okay with it. But dang, he was scary too. I was surprised when Venom just bit Kraven's head right off.
oh,
Oh,
really good.
dude.
That guy dark.
Whoa. I was like, okay, I'm glad my kids are not watching right now. Oh, man, it was crazy. I was like, okay, I'm terrified of this guy now, too. He was scary. And the final boss fight.
Oh, that was so hard. I don't think no. No, actually, it was a little tricky. It took me a little bit of time, but I was actually able to beat that a lot faster than it took me to beat Scream. Scream took me forever for some unnecessary reason. I don't know why.
Dude, Scream was crazy. That whole, I forgot about that. I shouldn't even talk about Venom yet. That was insane. Mary Jane turns. I thought it was so unexpected. I did not see that coming.
That was one of the that was one of the names that I was spoiled about. Have you seen the symbiote with the hair? I was like, you mean Scream? He was like, yeah. Have you seen Scream? And I'm like, what are you talking about? I haven't gotten that part. He's like, uh-oh. But no, so it actually turns out it was the mission right after where I was when I was spoiled.
Suck.
No, regardless, when he told me that, I was like, my mind was blown. I was just shocked. I was like, you're telling me Scream's in this? Are the other 7 symbiotes in this too? And he was like, oh. And so I was, I was just really excited to see just like all these symbiotes because one of my favorite, as you can obviously tell, Venom is like my favorite like Spider-Man villain.
Oh yeah.
I know a lot of people say Doc Ock, Green Goblin, and I'm like, yeah, they're good. But Venom and the whole symbiote line, oh, it's just so cool.
It's cool and scary. He's a real threat, man.
Yes.
That's what makes him so good. He can freaking multiply, and he does in this game. He freaking multiplied like crazy. All kinds of random citizens turning into symbiote things.
I honestly loved what they did with the story. Granted, it is like the tale as old as time, like storyline to do with Venom, where Venom takes over the city and infects all the other people. Because I think they've done like 4 other like Spider-Man games with that exact same premise.
I don't care.
Oh.
This one was the best. They did this one the best.
But don't get me wrong, it is an awesome premise. And the fact that they also made so many references back to like comics and stuff, like they gave Venom wings, and he looks exactly like he does in the comics. Oh my gosh. I love that.
It was so cool.
I'm also going to assume that you saw the, the after credits,
Yes.
after credit, mid credit, and like post credit scene or whatever.
Yes, I had to look up videos on the ending explained because I knew these big name drops meant something. I didn't know who they were because I have not read the comics, but it sounds like they are. I mean, obviously, it sounds like they're setting up Green Goblin for the 3rd Spider-Man game, being Norman Osborn, because we still haven't seen him yet. But now I guess he's being a loser and blaming Peter and Miles for what happened, or he doesn't know it's Peter and Miles, but he's blaming the 2 Spider-Men for what happened to his son Harry at the end of the game, and he's getting pissed. He's like, get the G serum ready, man. Whoever he's talking to on the phone. So it's like, okay, must be a Green Goblin setup. Cool. And then and then he goes and talks to Doc Ock again. He's like, tell me the names of the 2 Spider-Men. And I was like, whoa, man. He's like,
That was so
forget it. You're in
cool.
pain. This is awesome. I was like, oh, thank you, Doc Ock. Thank you, sir. But you may be coming back in the 3rd game. Who knows? And
Awesome.
wouldn't that be cool? Green Goblin and Doc Ock. Dude. They totally could. I mean, he's a lot. And then go ahead.
What's that?
Oh, I was just gonna say. Then that last one, we were introduced to some person named Cindy. Is that her name?
Yeah.
Cindy, who is Silk in the comics.
Yeah. I was about to say, you know who that one is, right? You know who that one is? I was about to say, it's Silk. It's Silk from the comics. It's Cindy Moon. It's Silk. Now, the second that I saw Albert, and then he was saying, oh, this is my daughter Cindy. And then when I looked up, when he said Cindy, I was like, oh, maybe I'll recognize whoever this character is, or this no name. And I saw Moon, and then my brain just put the two together. I was like, oh my gosh, it's Silk. So I'm wondering if they're going to do a whole 3 Spider-Man for Spider-Man 3.
That's what the rumbling is online, man.
If that's the case, I feel like that's going to be too many.
Could be too many Spider people. I haven't done this side quest yet, but I heard about it. Of the Miguel O'Hara name drop in one of the side quests that I haven't done yet. But okay, side quests, you can spoil those to me all day. Just don't mess up the story campaign. So
Yeah.
I didn't mind I was spoiled on that one. But he's like, tell O'Hara or tell Miguel, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, too many Spider people. Yeah, who's Miguel? I can't wait to see that. But yeah, so too many Spider people. 3. That's what the rumbling is online, is they're saying there could be 3 Spider-Men in Spider-Man 3. I don't know how I feel about that either. I too feel like that might be too much, but Insomniac, dang, you guys did a dang good job balancing 2 different characters and 2 different story arcs. So if you can prove me wrong again, then go ahead. That sounds great.
I was, another comment on that I would have to say was I thought the gameplay between Peter and Miles was really good. And they both felt distinct, or at least since I haven't really like broadened myself to like the different fighting styles with like Miles and Peter. I've always kind of treated Peter as like he can get like a bigger group of people with like most of his like arms and stuff, or even with the symbiote. And Miles can focus more on like the single people. And then I also really liked the Mary Jane sections. And
yeah, we can't skip Mary Jane, dude. She felt
so
good.
Much fun.
I had fun with those. She had a gun and she could shoot webs. And then it turned into the symbiote ringing thing, you know.
It literally just went into like a Glock 19. Mary Jane fights off the symbiotes with a Glock.
It worked. And she was awesome. I had fun. They were a lot shorter than they were in previous games too, which I don't know how I feel about that because I was actually having a good time.
Yeah. I was playing them and I was like, why isn't this a fully fledged game? This is so much fun.
I was like, I'm playing a third-person shooter game right now with Mary Jane.
This just feels like COD and Spider-Man. But no, it was so much fun because then like one of the big symbiotes just busts out of the wall, like,
dude, it was scary.
She's just there with this tiny little gun. She's just like shooting it. It was so satisfying.
Only in Princess Leia style, she's like, boop. You're like, okay, you're so cool. You are so cool.
Your face looks weird, but you're so cool.
Your face does look weird. Her face still looks weird. Sorry, Insomniac. Your faces, man. Get your faces down still. But I liked her. I liked her a lot. What did you think about Peter, quote unquote, retiring? I mean, I don't think it's gonna last very long, but
I think it's gonna be a very short-lived retirement.
Yes. I mean, he's not like it doesn't sound like he's retiring. It just sounds like he's taking a long break. It looks like he's trying to start up that. Oh, I forgot what they called it, but the
Emily and
Emily May Foundation.
Yeah, Emily May Foundation. Yeah.
Yep. He's trying to get that booted off the ground in this garage, which is awesome. I loved seeing him and Mary Jane finally tying a knot. That was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And Miles taking off and being, yo, I got this, Peter. Yo, brother. I was like, Miles, you're so cool. And his final suit that he wears during the whole ending of the whole ending sequence, that suit's my favorite. Holy crap, I loved that suit.
Wait, which one? The Miles suit?
The Miles suit. He shows the top of his hair.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, it was so cool.
I was actually going to say, I actually think the suit's kind of booty, honestly.
What? Oh, it was so cool looking.
I am not the biggest fan of it. I think out of all the designs, it could have been a lot better.
You're wrong. Just kidding. There was a black and white version of that suit, and I had that equipped for the whole ending sequence because Peter was in his white Anti-Venom suit, and my Miles was in his white, sick-looking ending sequence Miles suit. I don't know what it's called. Sorry, guys. But
Yeah, the final scene one.
But then, for some reason, the game forced me into using the default Miles suit, and I was like, no, it looks so much cooler if they're both white. Oh, if they're both in white, killing all these symbiotes, it would be so cool. What did you think
Oh,
of
no, you're fine.
Peter retiring and all that, and Miles taking over as the one and only Spider-Man of New York?
I think it's really interesting, and to be honest, I think it's really important and crucial to Miles as the character to step up as Spider-Man. And because I know this is something I heard that they're trying to do, and they're trying to like put Peter Parker out to pasture as Spider-Man and kind of bring in Miles Morales as the new as Spider-Man now. So I think it's crucial that this is what they do with it. I don't really know how I feel about it, and I don't know if they're necessarily going to do it with the video games like they are trying with the comics, but
We'll have to see. Remains to be seen.
Development.
Yep, yeah, exactly. We'll see. But yeah, like I said before, I don't think it's going to last very long. Especially if Doc Ock is out of prison. Then, man. Oh, man, it was so good. Man. What else am I going to say about this game besides it's so good? And holy crap, I loved every second. You were talking about
Villains are
I'm talking
great.
about. Oh, I wanted to go back to your when you were talking about how Peter and Miles felt different. I did not really keep track of how long I played as who because I enjoyed playing both, which is saying something. And something I did a good job making Peter feel new. Miles even felt new because he had new abilities with his own Venom powers. And man, I just ate up both of them. In fact, I think I played more. Again, I don't know if this is true. I think I played more as Peter than I did as Miles, which is saying something because I said the Miles had the better moveset. And for a long time I've been saying that, but I actually think I played as Peter more. Though I loved playing as both. They were so great. I loved how they had abilities that they had in common with all the different gadgets you can use, all with the R1 button with all the face buttons on that side. And then you had the L1 abilities, which is unique to each character on the other side. I love the skill trees. I'm not done completing the skill trees yet. I'm still working on that. As well as the gadgets. I'm still upgrading the gadgets and all that too. That's coming with my completion. But man, I had fun. They both felt unique, both felt different, both felt so good. And seeing them come in and fight with you was the coolest thing ever.
That was sick. Also,
It was a lot better than
you've
I
already
thought.
seen it. I'm assuming you've also already seen it. But what is it? Whenever you're fighting with them, and just as you guys are done fighting, you press triangle on them, and then you could do the Spider-Man pointing meme.
Yes.
I love how that's cemented in the game now. So in the future, that will be a very crucial and pivotal part of the game.
I love it.
It's just
so
way
good.
down the line.
I love it.
So it's
I died laughing. I loved it so much. And I did not expect Miles or Peter, whoever you're playing as, to just swoop in with you and do a finish move with you.
oh yeah, no,
And it was
I
cool.
love
They both web the enemy, one on the arms, one on the legs, and they just pick them and just bam! And then they point at each other and they just fly away. Oh man, it was so cool.
Oh, I will say this one thing about what I've experienced about the game was that there was one very crucial moment in the game where I was playing and then the whole world just kind of broke for a second and it just kind of threw me out of the world and then threw me back in. It was a little bit of whiplash. It was, what was it? Oh, it was that scene at the during the flashbacks where they're running through the building.
Oh yeah.
And you're getting chased by the cop.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden you get rickrolled, and that kind of pissed me off and made me laugh at the same time. It was a very interesting moment just to get rickrolled in a 2023 game. I don't know how I feel about that now.
Yeah, I was going to say, this game is a technical marvel. It does a lot of awesome, incredible things that only the PlayStation 5 can do. But I did have a couple of hiccups too. Where I'd knock out an enemy and they'd be on the floor and they'd just be glitching all over the place, arms and legs going through buildings. But then I also had a couple of freezes, unfortunately. Like in the end game sequence, when I was like hunting Venom as Peter Parker, I was going in for the final fight and working my way through that. And Peter got his last final ability, and it was like, push this button and this button at the same time. I was like, okay. Nothing happened. I was like, I'm pushing the right buttons, right?
Wait, was it as Peter or was it as Miles?
It was just Peter.
Was it as Peter?
And I was like, come on. And it just would not work. So I had to hit the start button, had to hit quit game and go back in. And then it worked. I was like, what the? That was weird.
That's so funny. That happened to me when I was playing Miles, and I got that galvanize ability or whatever it was.
Oh, yeah?
And I was pressing L1 and X, and then I just didn't do anything.
Yeah.
So I had to open up my settings. I was like clicking through different things. I checked to see if L1 was working fine. I was clicking on different things with X, and it was working fine. And so I went back to it, and I'm just on the screen. And it's like, press L1 and X. And I was doing it, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
Took like 5 minutes to figure out just to turn off the game, turn it back on.
Yeah, I had to do the same thing at another point. I think it was with Miles on this one. But I also had the game just totally crash on me. Completely.
Oh, that happened to me like twice.
Really?
And I'm not a fan of that.
Report this crash, please. Send a report on this. But those are only two problems I noticed in the whole game. And those are, I mean, the crash is a pretty big problem. This game launched, and it's still in pretty dang good shape for what it is. And they care about their quality. I think they'll fix these up pretty quick.
Yeah.
So don't let that scare you away from the game. If you're listening to this, hopefully you played it already and not just being spoiled by everything. But anyway, I think that shouldn't be a problem.
That's also, it seems they already had a bunch of countermeasures for it to begin with in the game. Because, like I said, since I've had the game crash twice on me, it saved all my information up until the peak of crash.
Yes, mine too.
And then once I load it back in, I'm just like, oh, I probably lost all my information.
Yeah.
It just loaded up right where I stopped and the game crashed. And I was just like, oh, so I just have everything then. All right.
Yes.
So I was like, pick up and go.
I remember when it crashed. It crashed when Martin Lee and I were going through Peter's memories.
Oh.
I walked through a wall, I think, before I was supposed to. And I went, what?
Oh, really?
Just freaked out.
That happened to me when I walked through the backside of one of Mysterio's portals and the game just froze.
Wait, what?
I don't know what I was doing. I was just doing a bunch of some side quests and stuff, and I walked through one of the portals and the game froze. So I didn't back out of it and open it up again.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to have our review discussion at a later date once Anthony finally finishes the story. I say finally, but he's working his way through it. He decided he wanted to play Mario Bros. Wonder before he played Spider-Man. Okay. So I still haven't beat Mario Bros. Wonder. I'm going to be playing that next. I just have to get my Spider-Man fill in first. I'm sorry. I love Mario. I love Spider-Man. Okay. Balancing them both is hard. But anyway, we're going to have a review discussion at a later date. And that's coming up, so stay tuned for that. You can obviously tell it's probably going to be a 10, most likely. We'll see what Anthony says. But it's a 10 for me. I think you heard it here first. Anyway, let us know down in the comments below what you thought of Spider-Man, what your favorite moments were in the game. And yeah, until next time, guys, keep it nerdy.